The divergence of consciousness within an intimate partnership represents one of the most destabilizing events a shared reality can experience. When one partner overrides the biological container to anchor completely into the monadic consciousness, the true divine source, while the other remains deeply integrated within the matrix script of the demiurge, the foundational architecture of the relationship begins to fracture. This is not a simple psychological drifting apart. It is a profound structural mismatch between two entirely different energetic frequencies. The partner who remains asleep operates within a closed-loop system governed by competition, survival, and societal programming, viewing reality through the heavy lens of the ego avatar. Conversely, the newly awakened monad begins to view the physical sandbox from a position of absolute internal retirement, recognizing the societal constructs for the artificial limitations they truly are. As a result, the shared timelines that once held the couple together begin to unravel, creating a violent dissonance that manifests across the most fundamental pillars of daily life. The first major point of friction manifests within the realm of human sexuality. For the partner still bound to the matrix, sex is often processed through the lower chakra vortexes, serving as a tool for emotional validation, physical gratification, or societal conditioning. Within the demiurge's sandbox, sexual energy is heavily commercialized and tied to scripts of possession, power dynamics, and temporary sensory escape. When the awakened partner shifts into monadic awareness, their perception of intimacy undergoes a complete metaphysical inversion. They begin to see that casual, unaligned sexual exchanges within the matrix act as a primary mechanism for energetic draining. Without matching spiritual resonance, physical intimacy becomes an aggressive siphon, where the high-frequency life force, or loosh, of the awakened monad is systematically harvested to feed the dense, low-vibrational loops of the unconscious partner. The monad naturally withdraws from this heavy exchange, seeking either absolute stillness or an entirely weightless, multidimensional union. This withdrawal is immediately misidentified by the matrix-bound partner as coldness, rejection, or emotional desertion, triggering intense insecurity and conflict. This energetic draining and perceptual divide expand rapidly when the couple confronts the topic of religion. The partner left behind in the matrix continues to find comfort, structure, and identity within institutionalized belief systems. They view spirituality through the traditional master-servant code, kneeling before externalized deities, participating in guilt-driven dogmas, and engaging in transactional prayers of supplication that implicitly reinforce their own lack. To the awakened monad, these religious frameworks are recognized as the literal administrative broadcast stations of the archonic controllers, designed to keep humanity spiritually infant. The monad no longer participates in the psychological drama of sin, debt, or external worship, resting instead in the profound knowing that the true source is already fully present within their own uncreated essence. When the awakened partner refuses to participate in these traditional rituals or openly dismantles the illusion of religious authority, the matrix-bound partner experiences a deep existential panic. They perceive the monad's sovereign detachment not as spiritual liberation, but as a dangerous, sacrilegious rebellion that threatens the moral safety and karmic standing of the entire household, leading to bitter, irreconcilable debates over truth and salvation. The profound dissonance generated by this ideological split reaches its peak when applied to the structure of career and material ambition. Within the demiurge's sandbox, the matrix-bound partner remains fully invested in the classic corporate script, defining their worth, security, and success through the accumulation of institutionalized metrics. For them, the daily grind, financial status, and the climb up the societal hierarchy are essential pillars of identity that warrant total energetic dedication. They view the pursuit of material wealth as the ultimate shield against the pressures of the simulation. Conversely, the partner anchored in monadic consciousness sees through this illusion of professional prestige. Having recognized that the global financial grid is an artificial loop designed to consume human life force, the awakened monad completely detaches from the frantic urge to compete for matrix rewards. While they still fulfill necessary earthly duties to care for their vessel and family dependencies, their internal drive for excess status completely dissolves. They prioritize absolute energetic neutrality, stillness, and spiritual retirement from the system over corporate dominance. This stark divergence in career perception inevitably triggers severe, ongoing domestic conflicts. The matrix-bound partner looks at the monad's serene detachment and misinterprets it as a lack of ambition, laziness, or an irresponsible abandonment of the relationship's future security. They complain bitterly about missed financial opportunities and the refusal to play the social games required for advancement. On the other hand, the awakened monad feels the suffocating weight of their partner's materialistic anxieties continually bleeding into the home environment. The dense, survival-based stress over money, career milestones, and public perception acts as a heavy psychic smog that actively disrupts the monad's state of effortless emanation. This constant environmental friction serves as a secondary, unrelenting source of energetic draining. Because the unconscious partner is perpetually locked in a state of perceived lack and financial panic, they naturally act as an open energetic vacuum, unconsciously sucking the weightless, peaceful energy of the monad to temporarily soothe their own internal void. Every discussion about the future becomes a battleground between two incompatible worlds, one demanding deeper integration into the socioeconomic machinery of the prison house, and the other demanding absolute spiritual sovereignty from it. Ultimately, this profound mismatch across sex, religion, and career leaves the couple with no shared foundation upon which to build a unified timeline. The relationship shifts from a supportive partnership into an active, energetic battlefield. The matrix-bound partner grows increasingly resentful, feeling judged, emotionally starved, and abandoned by a spouse who no longer shares their earthly fears or passions. Simultaneously, the monad realizes that remaining within the relationship requires a continuous, exhausting compromise of their divine frequency, forcing them to constantly filter their light to appease the avatar's ego. When the energetic draining outweighs the capacity for peaceful coexistence, the structural integrity of the marriage collapses entirely. Separation or divorce becomes the natural, inevitable sorting mechanism of the universe, a formal dissolution of a bound timeline, allowing the sovereign spirit to walk its path of absolute freedom, completely untethered from the illusions of the demiurge. Voice of Divine Truth, June 12, 2026.